California, USA, the most populated state, is home to both glitz, glamour, and cutting-edge technology. Every year it emits more than 450 million tons of carbon emissions, and cities like Los Angeles are the biggest culprits. So what are they doing to reverse the trend?
This month, we're in the US state of California as we continue our Green City journey on the road to Rio. Hello and welcome to the Road to Rio, the show that takes you on a green city journey to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, home to this year's Sustainability Summit. It's been 20 years since governments from around the world gathered for the first time to address global warming. And in June, they'll meet in Rio once more to reflect on the progress made since those talks 20 years ago. So what have countries been up to in the battle against climate change? This month, we're traveling throughout the US state of California to find out what cities here have been doing to make carbon cuts. Coming up.
We'll go to one of the largest landfills in the country and take a look at the new ways trash is being reused. And Philippe Cousteau takes a trip up to Napa to see how wine country is going green.
But first to our Green City Challenge, and for that I'm going to need the help of our two reporters, Thelma Gutierrez and Philippe Cousteau. Okay guys, so our challenge is to find the most exciting and innovative green projects right here in LA. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All set, let's go. Southern California is a testing ground for alternative fuel cars like this Honda Clarity powered by hydrogen fuel cells. Its only emission is water vapor.
There are more electric cars on the road in U.S. cities than hydrogen ones. And several models like this BMW Active E are available to the average consumer, each one cutting greenhouse gas emissions by an average of 36% over conventional powered ones.
Or if those don't do it for you, try a natural gas car like this Honda Civic. Natural gas is about half the cost of regular gasoline and has 90% fewer emissions.
Or if you prefer good old-fashioned pedal power, Los Angeles is installing 2,500 kilometers of bike lanes throughout this sprawling metropolis.
Here at the Bicycle Kitchen, you come to repair your bike, and they provide the tools and the knowledge. For a suggested donation of $7 an hour, people have access to everything they need. And if they've never done it before, someone at the kitchen is happy to help. And for a lump sum, people that don't have a bike can fix up a donated one and ride it home. Completely run by volunteers, the Bicycle Kitchen just wants to get people excited about biking around LA.
Yeah, it really makes life a lot more tolerable. I think if you think about Los Angeles, especially if you spend any amount of time here, you think about being behind the wheel, stuck in traffic, on the freeway, on the surface streets, and bicycling is a way to break free from that.
Clearly, there's no excuse not to ride on two wheels.
But don't count out LA's public transportation either. Their bus fleet was the first in the world to run completely on alternative fuel.
And while new forms of transportation are helping ease LA's air pollution pains, California has been using that same air to push its way to renewable energy.
In the last year alone, California has installed 921 megawatts of wind energy projects. That's enough to power more than 400,000 homes. California now ranks third in terms of wind capacity in the US, with 5% of its total energy coming from wind farms like this, taking it one step closer to its goal of 33% renewable energy.
From renewable energy to renewing the air itself, Ball Roofing has an invention that's kicking California's smog to the curb.
So John, the tiles up there called smog-eating tiles, but break that down for me. How exactly do they work?
They actually reduce the formation of the components that actually make up the smog. Well, by using these tiles on an average size home, 2,000 square feet, it can oxidize the amount of material that is equivalent to driving 10,000 miles a year in your car.
Stylish and carbon cutting, this little wonder is sure to have Californians breathing a little easier.
Water is another precious resource that LA can't afford to waste. The average resident uses 500 liters. That's 500 of these a day. So one company, Greywater Core, is helping homes reuse what is called gray water. This is water from washing machines, showers, or bathroom sinks. So with some simple rerouting, water goes to the garden instead of the sewer.
When you think about a house, it usually sits on the landscape, sort of consuming various resources. When you install a graywater system, the house starts to become a more productive member of the landscape, so it's giving back.
Some have called the inner city of Los Angeles a food desert where fast food is easier and cheaper to come by than fresh fruits and vegetables. LA Green Grounds is trying to change that by turning front yards into edible gardens.
A front yard food garden encourages conversation by passersby, and that encourages this exchange of not only ideas, which builds community, but it also promotes an exchange of food.
So who needs a grocery store when you can walk just a few steps out your own door?
And you don't need your own garden to enjoy the benefits of local sustainable food. Companies like Spud will deliver these eco-friendly goodies right to your door.
Spud delivers to over 30 areas in Los Angeles alone, which means you don't have to cut convenience to cut carbon.
We deliver organic produce to people's homes and offices, so by doing that we're taking vehicles off the road. We figure that every one of our trucks takes about 60 cars off the Los Angeles and Orange County freeways per day.
It's fantastic service. Well, that was fun, but I think it's time I meet back up with the team. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello?
So, how was it?
It was just amazing to see how this small garden could actually produce healthy food while at the same time encourage a community.
Philippe.
My favorite part was driving the electric car. I really believe they have tremendous potential to revolutionize mobility in the 21st century.
Very exciting stuff. So it's now time for us to set off on our journeys. Philippe, where are you going?
Aisha, I have a really tough assignment. I am headed to Northern California, Napa Valley in particular, to see how winemakers are taking their ancient art and giving it a green makeover.
Oh, tough assignment. Okay.
Yes.
Well, as we are here in Hollywood, I thought I'd find out what movie studios are doing to cut their carbon footprint. And Thelma, where are you going?
All right, you're going to Napa, you're going to Hollywood. Well, I must have made a producer mad because I am going to a dump, literally, to see why we produce so much garbage.
Yes, you drew a short.
We will toast you from Napa.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
While we set off on our journeys, it's time to find out what you are doing to play your part.
My name is Matt. I'm the CEO and president of Sunflare Systems, Inc. Our main product is our patent-pending SOS in a Box. It's a solar disaster relief kit and humanitarian efforts box. Our other product that is very revolutionary is our patented Sunflare solar static billboard. I can actually advertise on the solar sign itself as it being the actual board itself, and actually have a zero carbon footprint while getting across the message and having it blend in through into the community.
Welcome back to Road to Rio. I'm Aisha Sasay in sunny Los Angeles, California. Renowned for its glitz and glamour, LA is also home to something not so glamorous.
One of the country's largest landfills. Philippe Cousteau and Thelma Gutierrez show us just how much rubbish we rack up, and one group that's turning trash to treasure.
Here, there, everywhere, literally a mountain of trash.
We are standing atop 500 feet of trash, about 60 years worth.
The Puente Hills landfill in Los Angeles County, California, is one of the largest in the U.S. If the Puente Hills landfill were a high-rise, it would tower over some of LA's tallest skyscrapers. And you might be surprised by what ends up here: couches, mattresses, even perfectly good food. But where does it all come from? If you ask Edward Humes, author of the book Garbology, he'll say it's daily waste from people like you and me. To what extent am I, as an individual, responsible for creating all this trash? Not all this trash, but some trash.
Well, you, if you're like most of us, most Americans, are making 7 pounds of trash a day. Across a lifetime, that adds up to 102 tons of trash per person for a lifetime.
In 2010 alone, Americans accumulated 250 million tons of garbage, and although their recycling has increased by 34% since 1960, Hume says it's not enough.
It's very convenient to roll your trash to the curb every week and have it disappear, but it's a magic trick, and there's not very much magic. We need to have less packaging, use less disposable items, things that last longer, make purchasing decisions that are more studied and less wasteful.
Standing on a mountain of trash, tons of waste we throw away and then never think of again. You gotta wonder, what can we do with all that junk?
Junk becomes art here at the Recology Recycling Center in San Francisco, where they're helping the public have a whole new perspective on trash. This sculpture garden was created by Recology's Artist in Residence program. Over 4 months, each artist finds new life for things people just throw away.
San Francisco has one of the highest recycling rates in the nation. We're at 78% diversion, which is incredible, but our goal is to reach zero waste. Recology, like the artists, believe that there's potential embedded in these materials and that they are resources that shouldn't be landfilled, that they can be used or reused or recycled.
The artists have 24-hour access to the mounds of garbage here. The key is seeing the potential. In the studio, the artists break, revive,
I assume it was probably a coffee table or a dining room table.
and mold their findings into exciting new creations.
This guy was like an old desert canvas water bottle, like for a Boy Scout or something.
All to give trash a second chance.
I think people get very inspired when they see what you're able to do with all these things and kind of give them a home again, or maybe bring them back to life.
We're here at Canoga Park High School in Los Angeles, California, where they're doing their part to make the city a little bit greener. With nearly 900 solar panels installed on their rooftop, they're on track to save their district $1.5 million over the next 20 years. Canoga Park is cutting their carbon footprint. Now Philippe Cousteau is going to show us a university where they're trying to eliminate theirs altogether.
It's the perfect example of comfortable college living. Spacious floor plans and plenty of amenities.
We're the first residents to ever live here. We all jumped into this head first, and we hoped that it would all work out, and so far it has.
But there's something different about living here. The West Village community at the University of California, Davis is zero net energy.
We wanted to create a community that essentially generated as much energy using renewable energy sources as it consumed.
It's saving an estimated 22 million kilowatt hours per year, preventing more than 15,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide from entering the atmosphere. It's been the joint dream of UC Davis and a private developer.
What we didn't want was just a show project that could be replicated nowhere else. So it took many years of planning to really work on a business plan where we could partner with a private developer where this can work in the marketplace.
We're a private investment fund. We have to get a return for our investors. If we couldn't demonstrate that a private developer, privately funded project can be zero net energy, the replicability of the project would be really diminished.
What they did seems simple enough, like adding shades to the windows and solar panels to the roof, using recycled materials and energy-efficient appliances. They're hoping this community will serve as a living laboratory to capitalize on existing and new technologies.
This project is going to help change the world. If we continue to develop the standard way, we're not going to make it. This way, we have promise.
At around $700 per month, the 300 or so available apartments have already been leased, and there are more on the way.
It's legendary. Knowing that I'm one of the first residents to ever live here.
I like that word. I like that. Legendary. That's very cool. That's a good word.
It's proving that this is possible. This is possible, and more of it needs to be done.
Still to come, Old Hollywood tries some new tricks to cut its carbon footprint. Welcome back to Road to Rio. I'm Aisha Sasay at the world-famous Warner Brothers studio. Now, you can't talk about LA without talking about Hollywood. So we're going to see how the home of the silver screen is going green. For more than 80 years, the Warner Brothers studio lot has produced classic screen gems and some of American television's most popular shows. Warner Brothers, owned by Time Warner, CNN's parent company, is now giving its business model for sustainability an eco-friendly twist. Mike, I know Warner Brothers is going green, so to speak, but why on earth are we in the costume department?
The reason why we're here in this space is because this is a great example of energy conservation through automation. So this is some lighting that's off right now. It's motion activated, so as we walk down this aisle, the lights will illuminate, and it also helps protect the garments because some of these are priceless. They've been here for perhaps 80 years, back to the earliest days of our studio, so we want to make sure that we protect these assets. Let's take a walk.
Yeah, absolutely. Motion-censored lighting may seem like a minor detail, but in a space housing thousands of costumes and decades of film history, steps like these can save massive amounts of energy. That's fantastic, and you really do have all sorts of things in here.
You never know what you're going to find.
What is this?
This is a backdrop, a scenic backdrop. This is representing Sacramento, even though we're on the stage in Burbank. And this LED lighting array here is illuminating this backdrop so that it can be shot from the interior space here. And what's unique about this lighting is that it's LED technology. So here we have what used to be conventional lighting, which pulled about 950 amps of power. This has reduced that energy requirement by about 85%. What we're here to look at right now is a biodiesel station, which is unique in our industry, and it's something that's been here for about 3 years. This is a B20 blend, meaning it's 20% biodiesel, 80% standard diesel, and it operates very similarly. The price point is actually a little bit higher. I think that the cost is an issue. It's certainly something that we can't completely disregard, but I think it shows an example of the studio really trying to support emerging technologies, new fuel streams, and it's been a great success so far.
Conserving energy, conserving clothes, and everything in between. Warner Brothers Studios is on a mission to cut carbon wherever they can.
There's nothing like a glass of wine to top off our Green City tour. And we're in the perfect place for it, the Lobster in Santa Monica, California. Did you know 90% of US wine comes from California? That's over 2 billion liters of wine a year. And with a lot of wine comes a lot of carbon. Philippe Cousteau takes us on a tour of a winery that's cutting their global impact one grape at a time.
The fertile land in California's Napa Valley nourishes some of the most well-known wine in the world.
Cheers!
So winemakers here are doing everything they can to preserve this wine haven.
We feel that part of our responsibility to Napa Valley is to be able to take care of the land. Then also we want our vineyards to be able to grow for a long, long time.
In 2000, the Napa Vintners started a program called Napa Green. Wineries can apply to get certified green for both their land and their practices. Cakebread Cellars has done both.
You reduce your footprint by not using herbicides, trying to reduce the number of times we have to take the tractor through the vineyard so we're not compacting the soils, because we want to make sure our soils stay healthy there. So we've replaced lighting, because lighting takes up about 20% of our utility use. We've made our refrigeration more efficient, because that takes up about 50% of our energy use. Doing all these different things in terms of changing out pumps or controllers, using natural gas instead of electricity to drive our compressors. All those things we do to try and be as efficient as possible.
Thinking Green has even changed the way Cakebread is producing its wine.
What we decided to do is we had one hot vintage, it was 2004, every day was hot, and so everyone started picking at nights. And the guys would start picking like at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, depends on how much fruit we were bringing in. The picking crew likes it because they're working under cooler temperatures, and then it's good for us. We get higher quality wine, juice quality, higher quality wines, and it's also good that we don't have to chill the juice down because we're going to chill it down to 50 degrees anyway. It's already done for us.
This is your reservoir. How does this work?
So what we'll do is collect all our wash water, and so that's why washing tanks when you're walking through the cellar, we heard the tank washing. All that water we'll collect into a sump and pump it into our ponds, our holding ponds, and then we'll use this water in the summer to irrigate our vineyards.
While the ancient art of winemaking has received a green makeover, it certainly has done nothing but enhance the quality of the final product. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. It's time for me to leave Napa Valley and rejoin the team, but not before I finish my last glass of wine.
Philippe, how was the wine?
Aisha, it was fantastic. And we learned that the common misconception that going green is bad for the bottom line just isn't true. Between our visit from UC Davis to the winemaker in Napa, it's clear it's not just good for the environment, but it makes economic sense as well.
A good point. Thelma.
Aisha, I have to tell you that as nasty as that assignment was, it really was interesting to see first person just how much garbage we throw away and what we throw away. There was a lot of good stuff out there. We can all be doing so much more.
Yeah, that's also important. You're both troopers. Thank you. It's going to be really interesting to see how Mexico differs in its approach to cutting carbon emissions, because that is where the Road to Rio team is headed next month. In the meantime, we want to know what you're doing wherever you are in the world. Check out this iReport.
This is a small pictorial illustration of DIY portable solar. This is a label pipe rolled onto the base. You using ice box to prepare an insulated chamber to store hot water. Please note the two ends of the roll and two joints of the storage tank. Now connect the pipes. Now fill it with. Leave it for a few hours in the sun and your portable solar heater is ready to use.
If you're doing work like this, we want to hear from you. Log on to cnn.com/Road to Rio and send us your ideas via iReport, Facebook or Twitter, and we'll put the best ones on the show. That's it for this month. From me, Aisha Sasay, and the team here in California, goodbye.